No, I did not want to double click on that. Let's try that again. And the File Explorer just crashed. Way to go, Microsoft.
West Coast kid, holiday road, holiday road, holiday road, holiday
You excited, Brian?
Oh, yeah, I'm really excited. You know why?
Why?
So yesterday I changed my Apple password. Okay. Now on this Windows machine, it keeps popping up, continue to sign to iCloud. And then it lists these apps that determine, okay, iCloud.com. Okay, I don't want that right now. And it keeps popping up. It goes away and it pops up again.
I wish
and
I wore a hat.
Then Mail even complains about it.
Because if I wore a hat, as soon as you mentioned Apple passwords, I could have taken it off.
Oh, God.
Apple's password management is so secure that only the thieves can get in.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Because who wants anyone accessing their own data when you can lock them out of it and make it only accessible to the professionals that know how to bypass that shit, which I am not. I'm a professional computer user, but I'm not a professional security breaker.
Right.
You know?
By the way, I think this is the anniversary. Come on, quit popping up. Stop. I'm going to have to shut something off here.
At least you're actually getting in, though.
No, I'm not putting in a password. That's what it wants. End the task. Yeah, I give the password
'Cause it's not
I'm
enough.
not doing that right now. I just turned the computer on.
Multi-factor isn't enough. We must lock that shit so fucking tight that we will brick devices rather than have the minimal possibility that an end user actually access their own data.
That's right.
Don't get me started on Apple and their
So
passwords.
this is the
and they're
anniversary
locking
of Jobs and Wozniak starting the company. Should we go back in time and tell them don't?
Well, I mean, Apple.
iCloud Drive end task. Bye.
I wouldn't
I
wish
ta- I
Apple
have
to
photos.
never exist. I mean,
What?
because well, Apple did serve a useful purpose, and that was to offer competition to Microsoft so that they could drive each other
and
to
IBM
find different ways to
and
suck.
Radio Shack.
Yeah, I mean, it's all part of the thing. If they weren't there,
Apple
someone
Push
else would have.
Service. What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
I'm just gonna end it anyway.
Yeah.
Shared photo streams. Bye. It'll come back when I reboot, probably.
I mean, imagine you work for a company.
Yeah.
You buy your employees iPhones.
Try out our experimental AI features. This
You're-
is from Chrome.
Your employees use the iPhones that you buy
no
them.
thanks.
The employee ends their employment with the company. The employee gives you back the iPhone. You go to restore the iPhone to a factory reset, and the iPhone says, "No, we can't do that until you disable Find My iPhone." And no, you can't disable Find My iPhone until you enter in the password of this user that was using it.
That's fucking stupid.
And if you have a pile of about 20 iPhones, no, we won't tell you who the user is that needs to sign in to this.
The guy's name is not on it still.
You know what? I don't have the sack of 20 phones in front of me anymore. There must be a way to get it to tell you what password it's looking for. But
Hit them all with a hammer and then send them to Apple. Hey, fix these.
I mean, the thing is that Apple has this, like, Apple treats everyone like a thief. And as a result, only the thieves that know how to bypass these things can get in. You
Yes.
know? If you try, but here's the thing I found. There are websites out there that supposedly for nominal fees will unlock your iPhones for you. Now, I've not tested this,
Right.
but
It probably wants you to give them your iPhone
But-
password.
but if it does work, I must say kudos to Apple for creating a whole industry around getting past their security bullshit.
Well,
So,
Microsoft created the industry of
And-
antivirus.
anything to help the economy, I guess, So there's your employment opportunity, unlocking iPhones that
Right.
may or may not
Created the
be
whole
stolen.
industry of antivirus back on DOS days.
Anyways, that's not what we're here to
I
talk
forget,
about.
In the late 80s, my company got hit by, the hell was the virus? It was a DOS virus.
Okay.
Jerusalem virus or some shit ass thing like that. Hey, I think I managed to stop it. I go into the taskbar and start
Yeah.
deleting anything that said Apple.
Oh, there you go.
And it seems to have worked. Crossing my fingers.
Very good. Now,
Warhawk, Fapple.
Fapple.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and Crapple. Now, what
Johnny
about
ain't no
Snapple?
how. There was a security guy at this plant that I worked where his last name was actually Hacker.
Okay. Yeah, I think you've
I
told
probably
us
told you that
a
before.
few dozen.
Just in case somebody else.
For the record,
Getting Johnny started on Apple security is like getting Johnny started on Whirlpool machines. Yay, Sparky!
yeah. For the record, Mod Pro was here at 7:48, so just would like to make sure everyone's aware of that. So-
Oh. See, I see Dune first, but then again, that was it. 4:56. So
No. Sparky
And hey, Mod
had
Pro.
the first message with yo 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 at 7:52. Mod Pro was here at 7:48, but I wasn't. So Mod Pro didn't actually get her first message until 7:54, which is right after Warhawk's 7:53 message. So so that's the leaderboard this week. And do we even mention fourth place, which was Dune saying poop? I don't know. Which Dune keeps thinking
is that
that
poop
he's
or house? What is that? Headphones?
he he literally wrote the word poop. I don't know what you're looking at, but you're looking at his second message. Which
Yeah,
is-
56. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't
Right.
know what that means.
I don't know. Maybe it looks like a pair
Life
of
preserver?
feet. I
I don't even know. Oh, so we went to Washington, D.C. Yay!
yes,
And we purposely took a Boeing 777 because it wasn't a 737 MAX.
okay. All right.
Okay, but then again, you see all these news stories. Oh yeah, 777s have problems too because Boeing can't get their shit together.
Well, the problem is what Boeing was safe, and McDonnell Douglas had safety issues for corporate corner cutting, and when the two merged, they decided to go the more profitable route. Because
Yeah, right.
who the fuck needs safety when you're in a metal tube up in the sky? And so
Exactly.
Boeing's got some real culture problems that they.
Oh
need
yeah,
to-
I think the
they-
CEO was just let go, although he won't be out the door for quite a while, I think. And
let's
he's
hope-
relatively new.
I'd like to say, and it probably goes much further than him. I think a lot of people need to be sent for the door, and I'm going to be really pissed if I hear about golden parachutes that aren't literal golden parachutes as they push them out the Boeing plug door.
Of course, there will be. They got contracts.
No. They need to get the literal golden parachute, be taken up in a Boeing airplane, pushed out a plug door.
Oh, literal.
Literal.
That won't happen. So actually, one of the news stories I heard I think it was this morning, is there was a plane on the way to San Francisco, and it had to stop early because the toilet overflowed.
That doesn't bring the plane down.
Well, but people going, holy shit, we got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that is.
Oh my god,
That's a bad situation when
played-
people are making their way to the exit and the plane's still up in the sky.
And I'm proud to say that wasn't me on that airplane, because I break most toilets.
I can't remember the last time I used an airplane toilet. I make a point to
Poop air, yeah.
I empty everything I can before they start lining up. Sparky,
I have used the airplane toilet once that I can remember.
I have at least once, but
Yeah,
it's been
not
a
my
while.
favorite thing to do.
No. Who wants to do that? But anyways, so you went to DC. Now, Dune has never been in an airplane toilet, apparently.
Not even to pee.
I guess not. He
Doesn't go that far then.
Right.
Sometimes I'm on like a flight to the East Coast is like 5 or 6 hours.
See, when you live in the middle of the country, you never
Yeah,
do a
that's
cross
true.
country flight.
Oh, that's
So-
true. That's true.
Unless you're doing some kind of multi-destination flight where you find yourself in California and all of a sudden you get the text from the boss that you need to get to Florida or Jersey or but no.
Anyway,
generally,
let me finish what I was saying.
yeah.
So I'll be on a 4 or 5 hour flight, and I might go to the bathroom to pee like 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
Remarkably, on this return trip, I think I only used it once.
Ah,
Which, like, holy crap, how did that happen?
might need to go to the doctor.
For not having to pee? For having to pee that
I mean, peeing too much, peeing too little for what your normal is. Either way, that's a change in habit. Although maybe you just drank less water that day. So
and no beer for me.
so you notified us that you were basically the point of this trip was to check out a foggy bottom.
Yes, that is a
Now,
real
is
place.
that code for something?
No, that's a real place.
What kind of an establishment is this?
No,
is there
no,
some
that
sort of
is like a
secret
section of the
password, or-
city.
Ah,
That would be like
The Foggy Bottom.
Haight Ashbury, right?
right.
Or whatever section of New Jersey you're in. Well, it would actually be part of a city.
North
And
Jersey,
it's
South
on
Jersey,
the-
Central Jersey.
I think it's southwest part of the city. It's the hotel was about 2 blocks from the Watergate.
Okay.
And my mom said, yes, when we lived there in about 1960, they were building it. Says, oh, I'd love to live there.
There you
And then,
go.
of course, in the early 70s, you would have been part of history.
Yeah.
And we happened to, I kind of told him a few times ahead that we were going to DC, a friend that lives in DC, and we met up with him and his lovely wife.
Doing running in Haight Crunchberry? What? No, Haight Ashbury. Basically, it's an area that is near an intersection of 2 streets. There's Haight Street and Ashbury Street, and so that area is kind of like where the hippies hung out in the summer
In
of
the
love
60s, yeah.
in the 60s. You had like
There's
great-
still a little bit of artistic flair to it.
yeah. So the region around there is the Haight Ashbury district or region or whatnot. Like the house that the Grateful Dead lived in is in that area.
Yeah.
Which they had to put a fence up because like the back cover of their first album had a group shot of them kind of sitting in front of the house there, and so everyone and their mother would go visit that house and like get a group of friends to kind of sit in the same positions as the back cover to recreate
Hey,
it.
dude, I am
And-
living here. Get the
and-
fuck out of my
yeah,
space.
like the Grateful Dead don't live there anymore. Someone owns that house.
Well, but it's a famous thing like the Abbey Road. Everybody wants to walk Abbey Road.
Yeah.
I did it.
Now, did you take off your shoes?
No. And I was by myself.
Did you put on jeans? I'm trying to figure out which one of the Beatles you were being.
I
walking across the street.
I just was wearing what I had.
Ah,
No, I didn't have jeans. I just had my standard street clothes.
because if you're Paul, you go barefoot. If you're George,
That's
you put on
right.
some jeans. If
And if you're
John, you put on
John, you wear white from head
Right.
neck to ankles.
and if you're Ringo, you just want to play the
But the
drums.
cool part is there was a VW Beetle parked in its spot.
Ah, cool.
Of course, the thing is, that's a zebra crossing, and modern zebra crossings have like a zigzag pattern.
Right,
Back then, they were just straight parallel lines.
right. Now,
So
Sparky,
you'd have to roll out the old-fashioned type.
Sparky writing in, did you see the cherry blossoms?
That's the whole mission. Yes,
You flew across country to see cherry blossoms.
absolutely. The first day, now we haven't walked really far in a long time. The first day was 10 fucking miles. Now we didn't rent a car. We took the train from the airport to the hotel, and we did trains all around town.
Now, if you went to this much effort for some cherry blossoms, I imagine you got some plans next Monday to see the eclipse.
We're not getting it here. That's all kind of East Coast.
You'll go across the country to see some cherry blossoms.
Hey,
But-
I've already seen it. What's the big fucking deal? Been there, done that. Got the T-shirt.
And you haven't seen the cherry blossoms before.
Okay, so Smithsonian.
Cherry blossoms come out every year, right? I mean,
Well, this is the first time we went to see him. So what about the Smithsonian? That triggers a funny story. Okay.
all right, let's go for it.
We took the train from our hotel into town and got off at the Smithsonian station, right? There was a woman behind us, probably in her mid-30s, maybe a little older. I overhear saying, "Oh, we're going to meet at the pointy thing."
The pointy thing.
The Washington Monument. But henceforth
Oh.
it shall be called the pointy thing.
Yes. Anyway, that is great. These Seattle.
Anyway,
Toys.
so
That
they're
might be a little
getting
further.
ready. So most of the cherry blossoms are surrounding what they call the tidal basin, which it's in front of the Jefferson Memorial. Now, in high tide, the water goes over the seawall. In fact, in the evening one time, we took the night bus like Harry
Okay.
Potter. And we walked on, and there was about a foot wide where it was still dry, but there was water on both sides. So you had to be very careful.
Now-
By the way, they didn't tell you really should bring a flashlight.
So you've been there, done that, got the T-shirt for a solar eclipse.
Yeah.
3 minutes. of
Are you
totality.
getting ready for it?
I got 12 hours of driving without traffic ahead of me. So yeah, I'm doing it. I'm taking next Monday off. I am driving 6 hours north, finding a parking spot. Probably we're going to want to get there early. And,
Cool.
and
So
for
speaking
3 minutes.
speaking of the Smithsonian, we went into the Natural History Museum.
Okay.
And these are free. But because the weather was iffy, that's where everybody was. It was packed like sardines. We were going to stop by and see the dinosaurs, but we decided there's just too many freaking people. Let's get the hell out of here. But we did see the Hope Diamond. I was really hoping for the Pink Panther Diamond, but it's not there. The Hope Diamond apparently is the biggest one in the world.
Dune's saying that it's Tuesday. No, it's. Let me.
The eclipse. Today is Monday.
I'm pretty sure it's next Tuesday.
April
April
OX64 says it's Tuesday. I thought it was Monday.
No, it's April 8th.
And I thought it was the 8th. That's what Sparky said. April 8th.
Yeah, it's April 8th.
Dune says 8th. Okay, we're all in agreement. It's the 8th.
So we're on agreement on the number, but Dune thinks the 8th's on a Tuesday.
I get the confusion.
You know, I could see Dune driving out to like Oklahoma and being like, "Damn, I thought there was gonna be more traffic here."
Oh, we were here yesterday.
Out there staring at the full sun.
Play the dumbass.
It's a good thing we said something, or Dude would have been out there next Tuesday.
He was using the Mac calendar. They don't work. Oh yeah. Let's. Oh god.
Dude says he'll be working. Don't fuck it up. I'm not planning on streaming it because I don't know for sure that I'm gonna even have data. I don't even know if my phone's gonna work up where I'm going. You know, I've never been north of Bangor, and this trip will be taking me north of Bangor up to like Millinocket, that area. Where I should get, a little over 2 minutes of totality. I'm not going quite all the way up to the 3 minute peak point, but I am going to where there's totality. And I'm going to try to take some pictures of it with film.
Yeah.
Now, Brian, you did any solar photo taking? I mean, you did go to an eclipse and bought a T-shirt, apparently. They sell T-shirts at them?
No, it's actually been a long time since. Oh, I see why you're going up there.
Because
the path goes from Maine.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Along the border with Canada into Michigan, and then swoops down through Texas and on to the Gulf of Mexico. The
Right.
Gulf of California.
Right. It kind of does a
Cool.
northeast, south to southwest type of swoop. That
Right.
one. So yeah, I should be getting somewhere
Cool.
between 2 to 3 minutes of totality.
So
Once it's-
you're really going to do this.
yes.
That's cool.
Now I did ask like Gothard if he's got like a guest room available, and I was thinking of possibly like giving Gothard's parents.
Is
a
he
call.
living back in Maine again?
Yeah, he's been there for a number of years now. He's been there since like I think he moved there just before COVID started.
Oh, okay.
And-
I knew he was getting out of was it Vermont or New Hampshire?
Right, Vermont.
Then they
And they moved back
abandoned-
to Maine.
They abandoned the
But-
place.
But there's been kind of a death in the family type of situation.
Oh, shit, yeah.
And so even though I've been like, if there's anything I can do to help, but chat between me and Gothard have resumed to normal sending joke texts back and forth. So it's hard to, kind of gauge the like at what point, because I basically put out there, if you need any help, I can take time off from work. I can come up there if you need anything, like, or I could stay out of your way,
Because Johnny's a really nice guy.
it's hard to gauge, especially with someone that you primarily talk through text modes, if the person needs you to take 2 steps forward or 2 steps back, because I don't deal well with figuring out like what to say, when to say, and what not. And so I've kind of put out there, you need anything, of course, call me. I can take time off from work. I can come up there. I could just be here if you need a phone call, or I could just, go away and let you.
So I assume that
Work-
this was a family member.
I'm not going to, this isn't for discussion publicly.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I only brought up the vague mention of it.
No, that's fine. That's fine. We've
to
been
talk
taking-
about my feelings and processing of the show, because I don't want to dig into the private nature of other people's. No. Gothard and me are buds for life. Genocide Rob is the one I'm on bad terms with, and is probably never going to speak to me again. So
Hey,
yeah,
how many friends do you need? Right.
I got 2.
Well, you got me. You got Gothard. You got Dune.
No,
You got
Sparky. I was
Hey, you got Sparky Toaster.
I was joking when I said 2. I've got quite a few now. I got my wife. I got Gothard. Got Brian. Got Mars. Every now and then I hear from Lulu. It's been a number of years. Of course, we got Dune.
Actually, I haven't seen Lulu on Twitter. Well, I don't go to Twitter that much anymore.
And a dude goes, "Oh, that's a chick down under." No, I hear from her from time to time.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's been a while since I've heard from her, though.
So in Washington, we did meet up with a friend that's lived there from '77,
Oh, okay.
and since I haven't seen him since high school, even though we went to the same college,
Mhm.
I barely remember him.
It's weird
But he's
how
pretty
time
cool. He's
can
pretty
do
cool.
that. Yeah.
So I kind of reconnected with him, and he told me something interesting about another friend of ours
Mhm.
that passed away a couple years ago, and I knew him from junior high school. We shared the same dorm floor and a high-rise dorm at school at college, and he was out to be a lawyer. He's the guy that invited me to used to work for Radio Shack Group. Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently he knew that I worked there. We connected on Facebook before that, but he invited me there because he was working there, or he had just finished working there. I'm not sure which. Anyway, I never got around to asking him. I thought you were going to go off to be a lawyer. And he died before I could ask him that. But I asked my friend in DC.
Yeah.
Oh, and he was good friends with this guy Lenny.
Right.
And I said, the last I saw him in school, he was talking about going to law school, and he says, yes, he did. He became a lawyer.
Oh, nice.
He was with a firm quite a while. Oh yeah, if you don't make partner after a certain amount of time, you might as well get the fuck out of there.
Hmm.
And that's what happened to him. And then he
Wow.
did some other things that didn't work out well either. And the guy told me that my friend told me that this guy ended up being destitute.
Ooh.
That really
You'd
kind
think
of
having a
blows.
law degree would give you some. Maybe you're not a partner at a firm, but you'd have skills that could translate to.
Well,
income.
being a lawyer, unless you're with a firm, you're running your own business. And if you don't get the business, you're not going to do that well. It's not
But
a
the
given that
skills
you're
you'd
going to
think
make
would
money.
translate to other things, like companies need lawyers for legal advice.
I understand.
Or,
In
you
fact,
know,
our friend Larry had a law degree,
I mean, heck, the
and he
company
worked at Darko.
the company I work for is not a law firm, but there
Yeah.
are legal people that we have a legal department
Absolutely.
that needs to tend
But
to
see, and
law
I don't know
things.
the type of law that he practiced. So maybe business law was boring. In fact, our friend Larry,
Well, work is boring.
he was into tax law.
Okay, yeah.
He discovered, and he told me, I thought this was funny, in California, owning a spacecraft is tax deductible. Yee-hoo! Get the enterprise fired up.
That is good to know. That is useful information.
I'm not sure how to use that. That's for corporate law.
Yeah, no, I had a funny situation. So my accountant sent me my tax documents, my dad.
Your dad.
And basically the form to sign, paperclip to a envelope to send it back. And of course, it's like, well, I'm going to see him for Easter, so I'll just hand it to him. So I get in the car, drive down to Jersey, get out of the car. I realize, oh, shit, I left the tax document back at home. So I had to mail it anyways.
Why don't you just scan them and send them electronically?
Because he already had the envelope paperclip to it, and I have plenty of stamps, and my wife was walking past the mailbox anyways.
Okie dokie. You're totally old school, man.
Sometimes I am. Have you met me? I'm old school.
Have you ever used a computer before?
I've heard of it. I do from time to time. I think I've used it to stream a few times. But
I think that's a cool idea. We should try that sometime.
we should try streaming.
Yes.
I think that's a good
Wait.
idea.
We've been using StreamYard.
But not next Monday. I'm busy. I'll be on the road.
No show next week.
No show next week because
Don't be a no show because there's
now-
not going to be a show.
Now, someone asked about the film because I mentioned I bought some film to take pictures of the sun. Now, have you ever done that? Take pictures of the sun?
I would look for a solar filter.
Yeah, it's on its
camera.
way. It's getting here Wednesday.
Oh, then you're good.
Yeah, but now have you used one? Is this something you've ever done? It's a yes or no question.
I think I have a solar filter someplace.
But have you
don't
used
remember you.
it?
I have adapters to plug into to put a camera to a telescope.
Cool. Now, OX64 pointing out a very good point that he knows why I didn't scan it because it takes 26 attempts to get the damn scanner to act right. The mailbox doesn't care. And that's pretty much what it came down to.
You're right. You're right. In fact, the scanner that I've used reliably for probably a dozen years has decided it doesn't want to work anymore, and I don't know what the problem is.
I mean, but it was pretty simple to.
Thanks,
I had a
HP.
pen, I had the paper, I had the envelope right there. All I had to do was put a return address and a stamp on it and drop it in a mailbox. So it was like it wasn't worth the effort to go technological. It's not like I was up against the deadline.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
But yeah, no. So, anyways, I did some research. So I found a rather cheap solar filter on Amazon. So we'll see how good that works.
Sure.
That fits. Now, as we've looked at, I have that Nikon 35mm camera.
Yeah.
Of course, the stock lens on there is gonna get a nice little like dot for the sun. My dad did have a telephoto lens for that camera, which I still have. I don't know how good of a telephoto lens it is, but it's certainly going to be better than the lens that came with it.
So, what's the filter size of the telephoto lens? That could be different.
Yeah, because I did buy the right. I did check. There's a number you look for on the lens that correlates to the filter size. So I bought the right filter size.
Good.
That should go on the. Let me look at my past orders. But let's take a look here. What size I got? I got a 72 millimeter, 16.6 stop filter. So now the thing is though is that you got to take the filter off during totality. You only need the filter on during the partial eclipse phase. And of course I bought some of those funky little cardboard glasses with the very dark film. Yeah, solar glasses. The cheapo, like they sell them in packs of 10. So I'm gonna be
right. Why do I need 10? Right?
You know why I need 10?
They're so freaking cheap that
one for me, one for my wife, 8 for the person that helps me find a parking spot. So that's the plan. If I need some favors, hey, I have 8 spare solar glasses. Who can help me get this car into a spot? So now OX64 he's got the real deal, the 200 millimeter lens. He's gonna try to get it up on stream. So we'll have to check the recording of that when we get back. Johnny has a pen. Johnny has a pineapple. No, don't put that in my head.
So you're not gonna bring your video cameras though.
We'll get to that.
I'm jumping the gun again.
That would be stupid. So of course I'm going to try to do something with that. No, but yeah, I started simple with what's likely to work. Getting the solar filter on the telephoto lens that I have, and they say that, especially shooting through a solar lens, you're going to want a high speed film. So I ordered a roll of 800 ISO film. Now the 800 ISO film I found that was in stock that can get here really quick is color film. So no, I didn't go black and white. I went color with this, but it's actually film that's like motion picture film that they repack into the cartridges. So it'll work great with the ECN2 developing fluid that I DIY mix up.
Oh, okay. So it's not C41.
ECN2 and C41 are similar enough that you could cross process.
Yeah,
and it would come out pretty close. In fact, I think a lot of people do process these repacked films as C41, but being that it actually is motion picture film that was made for ECN2, and I have the chemicals to mix up ECN2, I'm going to process it ECN2.
That's awesome.
And then I also bought they make 500 speed Super 8 film, color negative. That's also ECN2 processing. And putting a high-speed film and a camera that was designed for low-speed film means that it's going to expose it. So I figure, you know what? Why not? Why not buy a roll of the 500T Vision 3 film for the Super 8 camera? And I mean, the solar filter is big enough that I could probably just hold it up against the lens and just two-hand it, do a little shooting, and we'll see if something comes out or not. Maybe we'll get a nice 3-minute movie of a little dot with a slight crescent going.
Sure.
Or maybe we'll get absolutely nothing.
It'll be so dark you get nothing. Yeah.
But it's also really high speed film for the camera, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to actually my priorities are going to be on shooting that roll of 35 millimeter during totality and also taking in and looking at the totality. So with 2-minute window there to snap some 35 millimeter pictures and look at the ooh and ah, I don't know if I'm going to actually try to take any movie of totality because I don't think it's going to come out that well, especially since there's not much light going on there. But maybe after totality, as things are moving away, maybe I'll shoot a few minutes of that with that roll and see what that does. So that's two things that I am going to do if I can find a parking spot for the car. Because my worst nightmare right now is driving 6 hours up to Millinocket and finding, just saturated cars everywhere, no parking spot anywhere, and police basically turning people around, be like, you can't park here, and you can't stay in the road, so you need to move along. Sparky writes in, use your flash, Johnny.
Yeah.
Flash photography of the sun. That is... I thought the people that were taking flash photography of the Statue of Liberty from the boat going out around the harbor at nighttime were silly, because that's a long distance for a flash to travel. But flash photography of the moon in front of the sun. Now there's some optimism right there. that your flash can reach the moon, bang, zoom, straight to the moon. Dune asked if it's near a haunted tree by chance. I don't know. I might end up parked next to a tree for all I know. There are a few trees in Maine, I've heard.
Actually, you're hoping for an open meadow, right? Or a parking lot.
I'm hoping for a place to put my. There is there is a very small a parking lot right off of 95. So that's going to be destination number one. My plan is to get on the road at 5 a.m. so that, ideal conditions, I'd be in prime location at 11, get there way early. I'm taking the day off, so I may as well get up early, get on the road early, pack a cooler and stuff. And because also it's So
what time is totality in Maine?
3:30ish or whatever. I'm getting there pretty way early, but
yeah. You want to get a spot. And you want to be there with snacks.
Yeah, because I don't want to count on. I want to be there with snacks and meals because I don't want to count on eating place because everyone and their mother's going out to do this, so everything's going to be packed. So I should probably pack a cooler, pack sandwiches, pack snacks, pack beverages, pack more sandwiches,
and a porta potty,
and a pee bottle, and the Sloan shit bag.
Oh God!
You just grab the handles. It's got the paper towel taped to the side. That's for you.
Yeah.
Sparky suggesting dude wipes. If the paper towel just ain't enough, have a pack of dude wipes. Yeah, no, I plan on being as prepared as I possibly can be. I have scoped out which exits have gas stations so that if I, if I exit and it's backed up, I could try I plan on checking a few exits to gas up my way. I want to make sure that I have that tank topped off at my destination so that I could get back on the road and head south as soon as possible.
What kind of temperatures are going on in Maine right now?
I don't know. I'll wear layers and I'll throw a heavy coat in the back.
Well,
I'll be prepared.
It's easy to pull up the thing and
it's been getting warm and nice here, but going up north of Bangor might be a little chilly. So I might put on a warm shirt on top of a t-shirt, and I might keep a jacket and coat in the back of the car.
For this whole Washington trip, we were watching the weather starting a week ahead of time, frequently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
watching how it changes, whatever, just so we can get things right.
All right, well, let's check weather.com and see what the weather's supposed to be for Millinocket, Maine, this upcoming week. Now, of course, we're a week out, so it's a little early to get an accurate prediction.
That's why you have to keep monitoring. It says, okay, from
right
10 days out. Actually, we're 8 days out at this point, right?
Right. So we're getting
happy Fool's Day.
Yes, happy. You know, we should have done something for that, but
I know we just totally forgot.
yeah, we did. All right, so let's take a look at the next 10 days, what they're calling for right now in Millinocket. So today was mostly sunny.
I wonder what's up
No.
with Mars. He's not here.
No, wait a minute. Mostly sunny, cloudy. Oh, they're calling for snow on Thursday. They're calling for rain and snow on Friday. And then Saturday, rain. Sunday, partly cloudy. Calling for it to be mostly sunny next Monday. Of course, we're still quite a bit out. High of 52, low at 28. So we're looking at hopefully sunny weather in the, high 40s, low 50s.
Good chance of having some frost on the pumpkin.
Yeah. Is that what you call it? The pumpkin.
The pumpkin.
I thought you were talking about your head. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were talking about your noggin.
Right.
Bod Pro Running.
Or the other pumpkin when you're taking the dump.
There you go.
Oh boy, that's painful.
Yeah. So we'll see how it all goes. We'll see what stories I come back with. Sparky writes in that he's going to be spraying Roundup on Johnny's grass to spell out something. Apparently, Dune has made a suggestion. Anyways, so Brian, how was your Easter?
Kind of didn't do anything. We didn't even get marshmallow peeps.
No peeps?
So this friend of mine that's in Virginia,
Mhm.
I didn't even think of looking him up because I was in Washington, right?
Right.
Bummer, man. Anyway, so he has a little quote unquote farm where he has beehives
Farm.
and he has rabbits and he has chickens. So
No.
he posted.
No, I know what you're saying. When you say farm, you mean the dude grows pot.
Oh, not him. No. No. At least he never admitted it, right?
Well, you said it was a so-called farm.
Well, it's
You
just a
put some
small.
air quotes there.
He just has some little, this and that. Some rabbits, some chickens, some.
He's growing some tomatoes. Got it.
He's doing.
Okay.
He's doing. In fact, he hasn't really talked about much plants. Maybe some flowers. I don't know what plants he's planting.
Okay. So he's got some
Anyway,
animals.
so he puts this picture of some colored eggs and a rabbit for Easter.
Okay.
Kind of cute.
Yeah, that works. And that was the story.
That's about it for Easter.
Okay. So yeah, well, we my family decided, my parents decided to host a buffet invite to the family this year. So there's a local place that does a good Easter buffet, and
So you didn't buffet at his place, their place. You went out to a buffet place,
right? We got
hometown buffet.
Yeah, hometown buffet. We got the last slot, the 5 to 7. Basically, they have 2-hour windows that you could make reservations for, and they don't let you in earlier than your time, and they kick you out after 2 hours. So we did the 5 to 7.
Oh, was it literally
buffet.
hometown buffet?
It's called Stony Brook Grill, so it
Oh,
may as well be
okay,
hometown
okay.
buffet. Yeah,
Okay.
and
Same idea, just a different outfit.
It was quite the spread. They had it was a brunch buffet, which 5's a little late, but then again, that was the latest one they were having. So throughout the day, it was a brunch buffet. They had the eggs, the bacon, the sausage, the potatoes, the eggs.
So it's like a
Benedict.
brunchner.
Right, yeah, because they had all the breakfast foods, They had the French toast and the pancakes, and they had like the baked ziti and chicken and short ribs. There was a lot of seafood options. Clams,
What's the typical
mussels,
thing for Easter?
ham.
Lamb?
Oh, yeah, there was ham. There was
Lamb
ham.
and ham.
There was ham. There was there was prime rib being sliced and served on your plate.
Right.
They had like 5 different types of cakes for desserts.
Nice.
I ended up I did 3 plates worth, and at first I did the savory breakfast plate, loaded up with the eggs, the bacon, the sausage, the eggs.
So they
Benedict,
wheeled
and
you out in a wheelbarrow.
Oh, I only did 3 plates, so I could have stuffed another plate in my mouth, but then I would have been, but then I had a 5-hour drive home, or 4 to 5 hour drive home, and I really didn't feel like doing that drive home, going so full. It's bad enough to roll over and try to will yourself to sleep so you can wake up after your body's processed some of that. To ease the pain.
So you left back for home at about what time?
Well, let's see. I left there at 7.
7
got home-
p.m.
Yeah, I got home around 11:30.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
So our flight back from Washington was scheduled for about 6 p.m. East Coast time, with the hopes of getting home by about 11. And then we could stop someplace to pick up a quick burger or something, like Wendy's is open late enough and a few other places. But we had flight delays. So first it was a 3-hour delay because the plane from Frankfurt, Germany was not going to get on time. So we waited for that. Then, okay, you're going to have to wait for a little while because they're going to have to clean up the aircraft. Oh, mysteriously, we had a gate change. And then they add an extra hour to the time. So it wasn't 3 hours late, it was 4 hours late. So by the time we got to home, it was about 2 a.m.
Ooh.
And of course, we grabbed something to snack on and had, whatever. So since we got up at someplace around 7 a.m., we did the calculation. By the time, with the time change and whatever, we were up for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Did not
that's
try
a
to
day.
sleep on the plane. I'm not sure if that was a mistake or not.
Well, usually nodding off on the plane helps some, but
No, I was
who
watching
knows?
TV. Although, and the cheap seats in 747, the television screen is like this.
Ooh.
So you go, what the fuck? You're going to select which show you're going to watch, and you're looking at a postage stamp, and it's
Yeah.
blurry, so you just kind of have to wing it.
So anyways, Sparky noticed that the topic, which goes back to the whole eclipse thing. How long of a round trip is too long, asking for a friend? Because I guess I just wanted to gauge, am I crazy with my plan to get in a car, drive 6 hours north, minus traffic, see the eclipse 6 hours back? That's a lot.
I mean, granted, it's a little far. I mean,
But
if it's
But when's
really-
the next
if it's
solar
truly-
eclipse of totality in this country?
I
That's
don't know.
yeah.
I already took that picture, or got that T-shirt, whatever. So I don't know. It's the kind of thing of, we have an eclipse come up, and I just don't care.
Let's see. North America won't experience totality again until 2033, with Alaska getting sole dibs. That's a bit far. Then that's it until 2044, when totality will be confined to Western Canada, Montana, and North Dakota.
I'll
There-
be an old man by then.
There won't be another U.S. eclipse spanning coast to coast until 2045. So we're looking at over 20 years for another good chance, and I don't even know where the 2045 one's going to be. Let's see if we can get a map of the 2045, because I could do that one, likely. I expect I should be able to do 2045, but I'm not going to, call this off for that.
You'll be as old as me.
maybe I won't be able to do the 2045. The 2045 is basically going to be in Florida on the East Coast. It's going to like come through like Northern California and swoop down to Florida.
Maybe you could tack that onto a Disney trip.
So yeah, that would be. Oh yeah, everyone and their mother will be doing a Disney trip. That yeah, no. Talk about the lines for the rides. You know, that would be a bad idea. But yeah, no. It looks like that might be getting to Dune's neck of the woods, though. Going right across Middle America there.
Cool.
Dune could, if Dune misses this one, he can catch that one. So there you go, Dune. We got you covered. 2045's your year. Be here before you know
how far?
it.
I'm guessing. Well, I'd have to look at the map again, but I'm thinking that it's going through Texas, and maybe it'll go through El Paso. How far is it for Dune to go from where he lives to El Paso?
That's a good question. Let's map that. Let's go from Wichita, Kansas to El Paso, Texas. That would be a 12-hour drive.
Nice.
Isn't it coming through Oklahoma though? I heard something about.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He might be able to pick it up further north.
Yeah,
but it's going to be further east though. So, yeah, we'd have to look at that map and see if that's.
yeah,
doable.
let's take. Let me pull up an eclipse map here to see.
Now, I have driven to, from where I live to Monterey to do a show, and then drove back in one day. But that's a 2-hour drive each way.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming up through Dallas will get totality. They're kind of north of the middle line there.
Sure.
It's going to hit like the southeast corner of Oklahoma, and go up through Arkansas. So yeah, like Dallas might be. Dune's best bet is to just go due south, to Dallas. Although there's probably going to be a lot of people there. So
well, you find a spot along the route that doesn't have that many people, so you go northeast of Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could start looking northeast of Dallas, but that probably a lot of. But basically, that's the most direct route for Dune to go to the eclipse. Is he needs to just go due south, and get to Dallas.
And what was the time to Dallas?
Let's take a look how long it would take Dune to drive. Dune probably already knows off the top of his head how long it takes to drive to Dallas. That's a 5.5 hour drive. So yeah.
Yes, next Monday, or did we just decide it was Tuesday?
It's Monday.
See, I'm already forgetting.
But if Dune goes Tuesday to see the eclipse, there'll be no problem getting parking.
Yes, that's right. I don't like crowds, so I'm going Tuesday.
There you go. Yes, Dune, next Monday, April 8th, Dallas, Texas.
Be there or lose it.
Oh, Earth to Johnny, I'll be in effing Jackson, Montana, dead center.
Oh, that's the wrong freaking way.
Yeah,
fun.
That's.
It probably wouldn't even be getting dark there at all.
I don't know if you're going to get anything there. Man, that Missouri, Jackson, Missouri.
Oh, Misery. Yeah.
Misery. I don't. There's too many M abbreviations.
I know it. You mean Massachusetts?
Why did I think Montana? Because Montana starts with M-O, and Missouri starts with M-I. But M-I is Michigan. There's a guy that did a routine about this.
I've lived in all the states that start with C. The North and South Carolina don't match because they have that extra word in front.
All right, so yeah, let's zoom out of the map. So yeah, he's gonna be right there. Oh, okay, excellent. Yeah,
In
yeah,
fact,
he's
does the path of the volcano, ha ha ha, the eclipse go through Western Massachusetts,
um, I don't, I don't think
or does it scoot right into New York?
Massachusetts is only getting partial. There's no point in
Well, I know,
Massachusetts.
but where does it hit full going west? Is that like New York
Well, it's
State?
it's 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 hitting northern New Hampshire, northern Vermont, northern New York State, northeastern Pennsylvania, down through Ohio. So yeah, that's basically it's swooping around Massachusetts.
So
Although
if you draw a line perpendicular um, to the path, from where you are,
Hmm.
I'm assuming that'll be like in New York State someplace. Would that be the shortest place to go?
I think I think it would take longer for me to get to where it is in northern New York than going to my best
Well,
bet.
you know the roads to Maine.
Well, the thing is, to Maine is just a straight shot up 95.
Right.
Whereas I'd have to be taking other routes and other
where
roads.
where everybody is driving for this event.
Well, that's why I'm getting on the road at 5 a.m. We'll find out how many other people are also.
Yes.
All right, I still am looking for Jackson, Missouri on a map to just see where. So yeah, he's gonna be right in that's a good place to be, and that's an 8-hour drive. So Dune, I hope you have your glasses.
That's not on the path, is it?
It is.
Really?
Yeah. It is. It's in it's in the kind of southeastern Missouri. So that is right on the path. That's a very good spot to be. So cool. Anyways, so yeah, that's my plan. We'll see how it goes. I have no idea what to expect. A part of me is like, expecting the worst. Am I going to find out it's not nearly as bad as I was imagining? Or am I going to find out it was even worse than
Oh,
I
I
was
see. It
imagining?
goes right through Missouri.
Yeah.
The bottom corner. I
He flies
see.
out Sunday on Southwest like an effing animal.
Okay.
OX64 rating, and you haven't seen Totality, Johnny? Dude, changed my life. I don't expect it to be life changing. I expect it to be pretty amazing and pretty cool. But it's basically the last eclipse that came through. It was not Totality, but Boston got partial, and I was working that day back when I was working at Eternock, and yeah, so I did. A bunch of us went outside the office. I actually took a video of it on my Facebook page. I think I still have. I'll have to find that. When was that last eclipse? Because I got like a pair of those glasses, and I found a sweet spot to hold it a certain distance from my phone's camera, and I actually got a dot with a crescent to focus in on it. It's not impressive, it's not great, but I was just thrilled that it worked, that I was actually able to get something
Yeah.
out of that. Let me see if I could scroll through my Facebook page. It's not like I post a whole lot, so I probably don't have to scroll.
Well,
back.
I mean, there should be a photo section, the photo tab. So you're just scrolling through photos rather than through every freaking post.
Well, all my posts are my photos, so it's the same difference, really.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I don't really post much. Let's see: fruitcake, tissue box, Christmas tree, antique radio.
How many Christmas trees do you have to go through to get to it?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. 2017, August 21st, 2017.
Cool.
So let me pop that one out and see if we can, put that. Oh, could you show it full screen instead of showing it in a little corner in the bottom there? Okay, there. Okay, now can we?
Got it. Yeah, you got it. Wow.
Okay, let me share the window. Go to this tab here. Present. Here we go. Life-changing phone video of partial eclipse. I say that mocking my skills. Yeah, here we go.
Play.
I got it.
Yeah, you got it. Wow. Nice.
I somehow tricked it.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Which one you got? Are those the NASA ones? I don't know. They're all right. Okay. Dude, post that online.
It's a little windy that day.
Yeah. You might have to get a dead cat to muffle the sound.
Oh, wow.
There it is, right on. Blinding light. Yeah.
Right.
There we go. That was in
That's
Boston.
actually that's not too shabby, really.
Yeah.
Didn't even have to drive anywhere. You just step outside, right?
Yeah. I was that was just outside the Enternock office I was working at the time in Boston. So that was the 2017 eclipse, and that was the one that we were all like, well, if we don't get this one, we'll get the next one in 2024. That one's supposed to be really good.
Yes, but it's not good for Boston.
Yeah.
Where was
Well,
Totality back then? Do you remember?
I don't know where Totality was for that one. I think Totality was also. I think that one was north across the entire country. I don't. You know what? Let me let's Google that. 2017 eclipse path. Let's see where that went, if I recall that. Oh, it did a kind of a curve from northwest to southeast. So I remembered it being north on the west coast, because I remember watching video feeds of it from my desk in the office, because in all kinds of places there are people streaming feeds. But yeah, no, it was down south. It went down to basically, South Carolina would have been where I would have needed to drive to if I was going to see that. So, this one's going to be further. I mean, this one's going to be closer. That one would have been further, driving down to South Carolina versus driving 6 hours north to Maine. So, yeah. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. OX64 say it came through Tennessee. I didn't have to drive far to Totality. Got to experience that one with only a few people around on a bluff looking into valley. Was star amazing. Wow, 5 stars. It was a 5-star eclipse. I believe that's what OX64 was trying to convey there.
Wow.
But no, I was not in Nebraska. Thank you, dude. Yeah. So now Mars is not around this week or next week, which is fine because I won't be around next week either. So, man, let's see. Alexis Hero was obeying Twitch and channel policies. No, you should have gone with the whole 5-star thing. It works great. It was a 5-star eclipse. So, Brian, what else is new with you?
Not too much.
Yeah, not much here either. My foot is still sore, but it's like the normal level of sore, which I was hoping it was going to be better than the normal level of sore, given that that cortisone shot should be kicking in. But anyway, hopefully it keeps moving in this. I think it's getting better, but it's hard to gauge because like I won't really know it's better until it's like a lot better. Because I feel like it's better than it was before, but I don't remember how it's been months ago. You know, I don't know how gradual it was, or it's kind of like yeah, it's sore. So what's the difference between sore and not sore? I don't know. Sparky wants to know what Brian thinks of Newsom.
Yeah, I don't care. No, he's fine. There's a lot of hate that bastard and all that kind of stuff, but I don't care.
Cool. Dune wants to know if gummies help. Well, I'm not in the kind of pain that I feel I need relief from. I'm in the kind of pain. I'm in the kind of pain that I notice it's sore when I put weight on my heel. So I just walk lighter, or don't spend a whole lot of time on my feet. And even then, it's kind of more of a 1-2 type of pain. So I guess it is better. Because before the fall, it was to the point that it was making me limp on my bad days. Whereas lately, I've not been having the bad days. But we'll see how the next 2 days go, because I got to go to the office.
How long ago did this happen?
Well, I don't know when it started. Because it was one of those things that just kind of started gradually, and you don't even really notice. You figure it'll just go away, and then you realize.
This was a result of a fall?
No. See, I didn't want to retell the whole story all over again, but I guess I need to. But basically, my heel started getting sore, and then it got worse to the point that where on days I would go in the office and I was on my feet a lot, I would be limping a little bit when I got home because it was very sore. But then when I started putting like heel inserts in my shoes to cushion things, I was limping less when I got home from days at the office. But the point was is that for like 3 months, my heel had been sore and hadn't been healing on its own. But then a few weeks ago, I took a fall. When I went out for lunch, I tripped on the sidewalk and I couldn't regain my balance. And I felt pretty good. I was able to kind of do a little bit of a roll, land on my side, roll over my back type of thing. And so I certainly felt a lot more graceful than Nick did in the Wendy's parking lot. That was a nasty fall. That was, but I got up, assured everyone I was fine. But just the process of falling made me, I guess, move my foot in a way that had done further damage to my heel, which basically there's something, when you're feeling pain, there's some level of damage, probably not major, something
inflammation or something. Yeah.
Right. There's something. So whatever is going on was made worse by whatever movements I made on my way down to the ground. Because the rest of that day, I was limping. I was not in good shape. So I
have an issue that's been going on for a while with my right heel.
Mm-hmm.
And the pain will go up the Achilles tendon.
Ooh, that's not good.
And it varies. The more I walk on it, the more it, let's say walking on it doesn't help.
Right. Yeah.
And all this walking I did in DC didn't make it worse. Some days I'll do, just a bit of walking, and it hurts so much I don't want to go anywhere the next day.
Mm.
But in Washington, it really wasn't a problem. Which I don't really understand why.
So Warhawk asking if I got an X-ray. So the thing is, I actually made an appointment with the podiatrist before I took the fall because it was, going on for 3 months, and it was bad enough that on some days I had a bit of a limp. So but then when I took the fall, it was even worse. It was like, well, a good thing I already have an appointment. And yes, I took an X-ray. I don't think she saw much on the X-ray because when she came in, she wasn't like, oh, I know what's going on here because I saw it on that X-ray. It was more of a, okay, could you walk me through what's happened? kind of. But then again, maybe
Right.
that's her approach. Maybe she, I'll look at this information, I'll put that aside, I'll listen to this, and then I'll put them together rather than come in and. So I don't know, because I felt like there was a little bit of a, why are you here? A polite, nice kind of like what's going on.
Well,
So-
some X-ray things that you look at, you kind of go, "How does anybody see anything on it?"
right.
And
I don't
obviously
know.
There's experience involved.
Right. That's why I'm not the one looking at it.
Yeah, exactly.
So she came in. I kind of walked her through a bit of it, and then I said, "Did anything show on the X-ray?" And she said, "Well, there was a little spur." So I don't know what that means, because she said it almost like, nonchalantly. Well, there's a small spur on there, and then kind of got back to walking through the type of pain, where the pain is, and because there's different approaches, different things we could do there based on,
Hey,
you gotta
that
determine what the right.
bone spur would get you out of Vietnam War.
Born too late.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but besides, I would have had to have that spur earlier in life.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, right now by age
But
gets
not
me out of the Vietnam War
very
in
helpful.
multiple ways.
Not very helpful when you weren't even born yet.
Yeah. So, anyways, so she gave me she determined best action. Let's give you a cortisone shot. Let's come back in 3 weeks to a month and see how things are going. And so
Johnny fell because of
a hatful
a
city-owned
hatful
tree.
city-owned tree.
Basically, the part where the sidewalk was uneven was this like grate that had a hole in the middle of it for a tree to grow out, and the grate was not flush with the sidewalk anymore, and so I tripped over that.
Oh yeah, that's common.
Now Nick, on the other hand, tripped over one of those cement blocks at the end of a parking spot that was right in front of
Yeah.
the entrance of the Wendy's, and
You kind of go, "Why the fuck was that there?"
it was impressive how fast he fell. I mean, it was like sack of potato, like, boom. I remember thinking that, like, wow, he went down fast and hard. There was no grace to it at all. Not that I'm critiquing or criticizing. That's just how.
Well,
it
no,
happened.
that's the way it happened. That's all.
and
It's just-
of course.
Just the facts, ma'am.
Now, when someone takes a nasty fall and you run to them, is it normal? Should you ask, "Are you okay?" or should you make an effort to withhold that question? Because I asked, "Are you okay?" and he said no, and I had no idea what to do with that information. But I
You're
guess,
just expressing concern, and then you can go on to, well, can I help you up, or make
yeah.
sure everything works before you get up.
Right. No, but the thing is, are you okay? What if he doesn't need help? I'm looking for kind of like a, are you okay? Yeah, I'll be fine. I don't need your help. A no is like, not the response you want. I was like, okay, what do you need? What's going on? He's like, just give me a moment. And it's like, oh, you should have said
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, totally right. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
but
because you want to make sure everything is working properly.
I don't know. You know what it is?
I mean, if you
You know where I
sprain
get
your
into
neck
trouble?
or your back or your knee or whatever,
It's not Nick that I shouldn't have asked, "Are you all right?" Here's the thing: when you have a friend that's never all right, maybe a female from down under, and every time you ask her, "How's it going? Are you all right?" you get a response almost like, well, what the hell do you think? Everything's awful. You should know. You know this. And it's like, I don't know what to ask her anymore for a greeting anymore. Because, how you doing? Bad. Oh, normal bad or worse than normal bad? like at this point I need a scale. Anyways,
I think people need to have a class in showing proper concern. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I certainly show concern. It's just hard to. I don't know how to. It's like, how are you? Bad. And it's like, okay, what level of concern do I need to show? Or how do I unpack this? Because I certainly am concerned. I just don't know what to do with that, you know?
Maybe it should turn the whole question around is, hi, Jenny, I hope you're okay. That way it's not really a question.
You know I'm not.
Well, but it's not a question. You're just saying, I hope you're
I hope you're okay. I know you're not. Dune is
Or
a
I hope
very-
you're not as bad as you were the last time I talked to you. I mean, that is a common problem with technical people. We're so wrapped up in what we do and all of the details of how we do it and stuff like this. When it comes to personal relationships, we really suck at it.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's true. I mean, you look at a show like The Big Bang Theory. That is the perfect example of awkwardness in socialization from these really smart people. Hey, you're really smart, but you act like a dumbass.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's all part of the human experience, right? We all just take
Yeah, well,
turns
some
being
people
the
are naturally
dumbass.
better at it, but they're not.
You know, my
computer
my
nerds or
theory.
engineers.
My theory is they're faking it.
Who's faking it?
The ones that seem to be doing better than us. They're just as awkward as us.
Well,
They're
there's
just good at faking it.
Well, yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, the standard thing is, standard greeting. Hey, how are you? And everybody just says fine. Well, they're faking it.
And that's my
shit,
issue. My
but
issue
they
is
don't
when
wanna
the other
get into
people
it.
don't fake it, and then I can't fake it back because I know how to fake back with faking. When someone tells me they're not fine, then it's like, oh shit, I can't just fake it. I have to figure this out.
Well,
now.
and then you get the people you say, "Hi, good morning," and they say, "What the hell is good about it?" Well, go fuck you, man. Have a good morning some other day. And meanwhile, screw yourself.
Sparky writes in, what's the latest with Johnny's old 70s radio he got off eBay, wants to put in the kitchen on the cabinet? I think it only has one side audio out. Yeah, I mean, the past few weekends have not been good to get things on the bench, but I had that quad amp, which I'm not even really sure what I want to do with it, but I was going to just figure, put it in the kitchen. We'll see how that goes. But the quad amp tested fine on the workbench in the basement. I had it turned on for hours, coming out of 4 speakers. Audio was stable. 8 tracks working. AM,
Awesome.
FM's working. And then I put it in the kitchen, and the sound goes to crap. And I'm guessing, I don't know what the resistance of the speakers I was using in the basement versus the resistance of the speakers that are in my kitchen. But I'm guessing that one's 4, the other's 8, or one's 8, the other's 16, whatever the range is. It's probably because there is kind of a range of normal. I forget if it's 4 to 8 or 8 to 16, but it's one of those. Or maybe it's 4 to 16.
No, that's easy to test.
So yeah, I just need to. Well, it's real easy to test. I get a step ladder. I take down a speaker from the top of the cabinet. I look at the label on the back.
Or you got wires coming down to where the stereo is, right?
Yeah,
Just
but
unhook that speaker and put the leads, the ohm meter, to those speaker leads.
I could do that too, But I could also read the label to see what the spec's supposed to be.
Yeah, but
and
that
measure.
gets out the ladder, risking falling again.
I like
and
to
then
have
taking
all
the
my
damn thing apart.
information. Well, also, it's not just a speaker. It's at least a 2-way speaker. So there's crossover. There's things there. It's a whole circuit type of thing. So I just want to read the spec on the label. So point is,
Yeah, but if it's a through a speaker, do you read all of the labels?
well, the label is for the speaker as a whole. So that gives me a number,
Okay.
and that's what it is.
Okay.
Why use the scanner
Again, a meter
when
would
a
tell
mailbox
you the
is right
same.
there?
The meter would give you the same information, including the ohm drop or whatever you want to call it of the speaker wire,
The label gives me all the information I need.
not of the wire.
The wire is part of the speaker.
No, the wire from the speaker to the stereo. That's not going to be included in the 8 ohms or whatever it says.
The wire's attached to the speaker. It's not terminals on the back of the speaker. It's a wire that comes out the back of the speaker.
Yeah, but that's that sticker is not going
This-
to include that.
There's a spec on the speaker. That's what I'm going to read. Why is this still a conversation?
How hard is it just to put a meter to the wire? It should give you the same reading.
Tell you what,
In fact, go both ways.
we'll compromise. I'll attach one of the speaker wires, one of the leads on the meter, and I'll read half of the label.
There you go.
And then I'll average that out.
There you go. There you go. See, I knew we could do this.
That's how to do it. No,
That's right.
I'll probably do both. You know, see what the reading is, see what the label says.
Yeah. Maybe you've got a bad wire.
See if they match.
Maybe you got a bad wire.
Well, the speakers work fine on other amplifiers, so I don't think it's a problem with the speaker.
Oh.
I think there's a difference in, I mean, because basically the receiver worked great in the basement for a number of hours, stopped working in the kitchen in a number of minutes. Now, it could be that just happened to be the time that something broke down going from the basement to the kitchen. But being that it was previously reported to have problems like this, and I didn't get the problems in the basement, and I got the problems in the kitchen, I'm thinking there's a difference in my environments. Biggest difference I can think of is the speakers that are attached to it.
Sure.
So yeah, I'll
I
probably
assume the amplifier calls for 8-ohm speakers.
I gotta check that out too. I haven't found original documentation for this, and I don't know if that's noted on the back of the amplifier or not.
Yeah.
But usually it's a
Okay.
range.
Yeah.
But the point is that it doesn't like the speakers in my kitchen, but it likes the speakers in my basement. So at that point, I put it back in the basement because I figured even if it works fine with one set of speakers and not fine with the other, it's a ticking time bomb at this point if I just keep it working with the speakers it's working with. So I may as well tear it apart, get a list of capacitors, order some stuff, and recap the thing and see if that.
So
improves
you
the
haven't started
situation
on
or
that
not.
project yet?
That I haven't started on yet because now I got to open it back up and start like desoldering things and taking pictures and all that. And I haven't had a free day to sit and spend and soak it in. But I could have either put back the receiver that was in there that I don't like, but I have another Fisher receiver that has a bad 8-track deck but has a good stereo amplifier. Not a great stereo amplifier, but a good stereo amplifier. That both the channels seem to be even, but the balance knob doesn't work. It works to extremes. Like if you turn it a little bit to the left, the sound still stays centered. If you turn it all the way to the left, the right channel pops out as you hit the extreme. So it doesn't give you that variable left to right sweep thing. It's
Do you
basically,
think it's a control knob?
I think it could be any number of things. I have no idea. But the point is that clearly this receiver is not in top condition, but it is a working stereo amp that is balanced and run signal through it. So I'm like, I'll just put this in for now. It's better than what was in there. And it's not something I care all that much about because and I've sprayed the thing. I mean, this was something that when I got it, I sprayed it. I plugged it in. I got sound out of both speakers. I switched to 8-track. I put in a tape. The 8-track player was crap. So like I was like, okay, that sucks. And I sometime a while ago, I bought 2 of these Fisher receivers, the mini Fisher receivers that don't have turntables in the top. One of them has a dead channel in the power amp, but the 8-track deck works fine. The other one has 8-track deck is bad, but both channels of the stereo work. So it's at some point I need to put one of these 3 receivers on the bench and recap it and see if I can get something like, primo across the board to put in the kitchen. I just got to decide which one I really want to do. Do I want to put the quad amp in there, or do I want to put the Fisher with the good 8-track deck in there? Because I think
Tuner spray. That's
it
that's
needs
what I
more.
would go
It
with.
needs more than that. I've done that.
Oh,
Anyways,
on that receiver.
I've done it on all of them. I
Okay.
think you're talking to an amateur here. It's
Yeah,
one
of
thing I know
course.
how to do.
Right, Sparky? Of course we're talking to an amateur.
That's why I sprayed.
Oh, we're
it.
not the amateur hour anymore, are we?
No, we are not. All right. Let's see what Dune's link is here that people are lolling at. A DC cab power booster. All right, this is I don't know. Will it sound be adequate?
Was it show?
Oh, I think it's people getting into a taxi.
Was it showable?
It's just a car radio.
Oh, okay. Dang, party time.
Oh, all the windows break out.
No.
Yeah, basically it's, the loud car stereo.
Yep.
Yep. So, anyways, yeah, I got a bunch, but I got a pile of broken radio. I got a pile of broken. I need to pick something, and focus on it. But then the Friday night video started, looking all shiny and new again to me. So I've been like, well, here's the thing. The first one I did is something that I would do completely different if I were going to do it again. So anytime I want to watch the first episode I restored of Friday Night Videos, I can't watch it because it's all I can think about is all the things that need to be redone. And it's such a good episode. It has a lot of great songs on it. It's got what was it? It's got well, here, let's pull here. Let me show you. I went a little nuts. I kind of regret doing what I did, but I did it and it's done, so I may as well keep it. So yeah, the first episode I queued up and did was one that was, it just happened to be the first one that I found sources for all the videos for. Of course, I've since gotten better at finding sources of videos. Also, YouTube has gotten a lot better since when I started doing this. When I started doing this, YouTube was shit. But anyways, the episode is from September 9th, 1983. And one thing that I do differently is that now if there's a widescreen formatted video, instead of letterboxing it in a full screen render, which would mean that I get a border around the entire screen when watching on widescreen TVs, I actually pillbox the episode so that I can put widescreen videos widescreen. So if I share my window here, you'll see that my preview window up here is widescreen because the first video in this episode is Rod Stewart, Young Turks, which was a widescreen filmed episode. And once again, this tape has much better sound than the last tape I worked with. So the AI announcer here, let me solo the announcer here on the beginning of this and just listen to how clean this came off with the AI.
To start things off, here's Rod Stewart with Young Turks.
That's pretty good. Although the Fs didn't quite come through, but they also, even with the music in there, the Fs kind of get buried in the music. But that stands out when you isolate the music. Anyways, if I put this into the mix, here we go.
To start things off, here's Rod Stewart with Young Turks.
That's pretty good. That's not bad.
Yeah, decent.
Yeah. And then let's see, over here it goes into some Loverboy.
And now, here's Queen of the Broken Hearts from Loverboy.
And so I now you can see where it's pillbox that we got the black bars on the side to go back to our regular formatting. But here's where the problem came in. The problem came in is that the video vote always does a thing where they like fly the video in to the screen rather than just cut to the video. And to me, that always makes an awkward transition because I don't know how to do those like fancy fly-in type things. And I don't even know if so I kind of figured out how to do it, but I had to I don't think I figured out the right way to do this. But anyways, as you can see here, if I mute this channel, this will show the way the episode flies in as a trapezoid from the bottom of the screen and then zooms in.
Whether the police will retire as your first 4-time champion. So go find a pencil and paper to jot down tonight's phone numbers, which we'll give you in a few minutes. But now, Here's tonight's challenger, one of America's most popular bands, Journey with After the Fall.
So yeah, you see how you got the TV, it's gray, it's grainy on the VHS, and then after it zooms in, it just cuts to this clean picture. That's an awkward transition. So I did kind of figure out how to emulate that, and this is the first time I've done something like this.
Here's tonight's challenger, one of America's most popular bands, Journey with After.
Now that'll render more smoother, because part of it was I figured out how to make a screen a trapezoid, and I already knew how to make a screen zoom in, but I didn't know how to make a trapezoid untrapezoid as a transition, because it was a plugin that you plug in a value to, and so as you can see, over the 63 frames that the trapezoid turned into a rectangle while it was zooming in, I split each frame into its own zone and plugged in an individual value from 0 to 1.000 that makes this trapezoid less and less as it expands. And even so, it's still not perfect. On these last few, you can kind of see the underlying video coming to a little faster than my even one is, because these effects are probably originally done with analog sliders that might not have been machine smooth, but that's close enough. That still looks a whole lot better.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, but there's got to be a better way to do this trapezoid, coming square. I just need to, to me, it was quicker to just split it up and plug in the numbers than it was to, find a lesson and learn how to do it. Of course, it'll be quicker to learn how to do it than to do it this way, like hundreds of times. But how many times am I going to do this effect? I don't know. But anyways, yeah, this is totally not how to do this. But the other problem is, and I can't really fix this, and I gave up on this, is that at the end of the episode, it fades to the screen with the phone number to call, and then it comes up in a sideways trapezoid, and then it comes up to the side there. Now, I could make a trapezoid that lies on top of that while it's stationary, but I can't make that trapezoid come up from the bottom even. It kind of cuts off the bottom weird. Plus, if I fly it in from the bottom, it goes on top of the 900 number, whereas it's really supposed to go behind the 900 number. So I can't really do this unless I made an overlying text of the 900 number from the font that I have and align it perfectly and then put that. But you see, it's starting to get a little, it's like, at what point do I say this is nuts? Just run with it. So at this point I decided to just keep that, but I did let it switch to the overlying one here, which gives this clunky, swap from bad video to good video all of a sudden. And maybe I should just turn that off, because heck, this isn't even showing the same parts of the video. What the hell did they do here? Why did they make it show different parts of the video than what would roll? All right, so that's right. See, this is stuff I just did like an hour before I needed to start prepping for the show. Okay, there must be some frames that are transitioning a little off. Okay.
What software is this?
This is Sony Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Of course, at least they were kind enough to make a straight cut to the Police Every Breath You Take. So that'll be a real easy transition to fly in from the DVD. So yeah, it's got the Police Every Breath You Take, a commercial for Qbert, Jay Giles, Centerfold. Some more commercials. Oh, Mr. T.
All right.
Superhero Mr. T stars in his own weekly show.
Be there Saturday morning.
They made him a cartoon. And, check this out. There was some kind of a technical mishap during the commercial break that it went to dead air and then went to an NBC logo before they were able to resume the commercial break.
Nice.
I'll probably trim that down a little bit. which means that it actually rejoined the show in progress.
Viewers are advised.
No, that's a Burger King commercial. Because they still ran the rest of the commercial break, and then they so it missed the beginning of this video.
The People's Court moves to Channel 4 Monday at 4:30.
What's been going on? Operator, get me transatlantic.
So whatever announcing intro would have been on the beginning of that video, I don't know.
Oh, did you notice that Judge Judy is back? She's on a streaming channel.
Oh,
I forget if it was
Judy Justice has been streaming for years now.
Yeah. But I mean, it still is going on.
Yeah.
It's not like you're showing an old one.
No,
Like,
yeah.
wow.
Hey, as long as people are going to go to argue in front of her,
That's right.
and subject themselves to
You know how stupid they are.
she'll keep telling them how stupid they are.
And she doesn't mind yelling at these people.
No, of course not. And then of course we got some good old 80s Stones. How'd you like to live next door to that?
Cool.
and then here's a video. This video is all but disappeared. The only source this video has never been released on VHS, has never been released on a DVD. The only thing that is available is a 480p YouTube stream from the artist's own YouTube channel. Like, the artist himself couldn't even put up a 720p version to the YouTube channel. Mind you,
Wow.
YouTube supports 1080. But so that is the only evidence that this video exists. That and my VHS tape.
Lindsey Buckingham with Holiday Road.
Yeah, the National Lampoon Vacation song. Although the video has nothing to do with National Lampoon's Vacation.
Right.
Although, you know, it's sometimes songs that are associated with a movie, they include the music video on the DVD or Blu-ray as an extra. That would have been perfect. They should have put like this video on like a National Lampoon Vacation Blu-ray issue, but they didn't. So I checked.
Oh, you know what's cool? I watched on the plane.
Yeah, what's that?
So in 1970, Jimi Hendrix did, you know, one of these big concert festival things, you know, Woodstock like, in Atlanta. And this thing was about how they put it together. And he says, yeah, it was kind of like last minute. Oh, maybe we should shoot this, right? And he goes, yeah, I got some equipment. Let's shoot it. Okay. So they shot it, right? They showed the crowds. They showed this and anything. Yeah, it was as big as Woodstock. It was basically the last thing because investors didn't want to put money into this big shit show, right?
Right.
You know, they were expensive. Lawsuits were flying all over the place. I like the guys that put money up for Woodstock probably not got their money back, right?
Right.
You know, they're still playing it, so maybe we'll get some money eventually out of it.
I mean, Woodstock ended up making money on the recordings. That was what
exactly.
That's
so
what turned out to be profitable.
So this, they shot the film, but because it was kind of like a dead end, it's like nobody's going to watch this. There's no money in it. He just threw the tapes, undeveloped tapes, in a barn or something, or his basement.
Oh, wow.
Right? 25 years later, he says, well, shoot, let's develop these things. Or 30 years later. Yeah, 30 years later. So undeveloped for 30 years. Obviously, it was stored good because they developed it and it looks fine.
Yeah, I mean...
And then there is a fairly lengthy Jimi Hendrix playing on stage. And he shows up at midnight. So this is also late shooting.
Right. That's cool.
It's just an amazing. So this came out in like 2015.
Yeah.
So it's this Atlanta, Jimi Hendrix Atlanta, music festival. It was pretty astounding.
Yeah.
And of course, on the crappy TV that's this big.
I'll have to check that out. Now, Sparky asking if 900 numbers are still a thing. I would expect they are. They're probably just not widely used. You don't hear about them anymore.
That's where you dial it to pay for your vote or something.
Yeah. So he wants us to try calling the 900 number, but those are toll numbers that like, and who knows where it's even assigned to or what they charge at this point.
Sure.
Right. And the Skype account is attached to Dune's credit card, I think. So
go for it.
Let's not. I don't even know if you can call 900 numbers from Skype. Now, Dune showing if I spent this much time on clipping for automation, HP would still be on the air. And Sparky pointing out if I spent this much time fixing radios and TVs, they'd still be working. But here's the thing, though. I work in bursts. So I spend a few weeks or a few months fiddling around with the Friday Night Videos things. I get burned out and I get bored. I spend a few weeks in the basement fiddling around with some electronics. I run into a stumbling block. I lose interest. I get bored. I dig out the tape player, spool up some quad 8 tracks, record them in, fiddle around with some files I already have. I get bored. I can't stay on. I struggle to finish things because I could, and that's part of my ADD.
Well,
is that
and also
I lose interest.
Let me tell you this: you're also a perfectionist. I mean, just going through those parts of the video, to me, they kind of looked fine. And you had some issues with this part and that part and that part. I mean, I get it. Yeah, you want to do it as best as possible, but at some point you kind of go, okay, I'm done with that.
Well, sometimes I do it's good enough. Well, like I said, I have, this was the first episode I did, and there were things that I decided were good enough back then that I came back and they're not good enough. And there's things I figured out better. So I'm always pushing myself that extra inch. What could I do this? Could I do that? Now the trapezoid thing, I really should find an easier way to do it. I really should find a YouTube class on some basic effects in Vegas.
And maybe you need Adobe Premiere.
And no. But
it isn't a learning curve, it's a brick wall.
Yeah, so I'll stick with Vegas. Sparky was thrilled with the Sheena Easton video, which I did find a DVD source of her music.
Oh, another video I watched? 2017, Sheryl Crow did a concert at the Capitol Theater.
Okay.
You know, that's a famous theater, a lot of rock and rollers. She goes, and this is the first time I did that. And it's good. And she even says in it that she's, so they do some clips of it and then they stop and they go to her talking about the show and then go back to play some more music. They do a shitload of numbers. It's like, did they do this in one show or were there a series of shows and they put together these clips? I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, I would recommend it. And of course, she not only sings, but she plays guitar, acoustic guitar, electric guitar. She plays bass. She plays keyboards and jumps around like an 18-year-old.
Cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Now, Dune asking how old I was, I guess, when that episode aired. Well, that episode aired September 9th, 1983. So that would have been...
So you were 7 years old?
No, try again.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
Well, that would be after my birthday, so I would have been 4.
4 years old.
Yes. 4-year-old Johnny would have maybe been playing with a little toy or something.
Tinker Toys.
Room while could have been Tinker
Lincoln
Toys.
Logs.
No, Lincoln Logs were at Grandma's house.
Oh, so when we were having breakfast, there was this big long table, and there are multiple tables, okay? But this big long table, we were sitting close to this family there with little kids and stuff like this, and they had their cereal bowls. Thinking of Sparky, And the spirit, some kind of cereal that was there that was all these different colors. I'm not sure how sugary it was or not. It was all these different colors. And I looked at it like, so a nutritionist would suggest for good nutrition, just eat a lot of different colors. I'm not sure looking at that cereal bowl, that's what the guy meant.
Eat different colors.
Yeah, so you get carrots, that's orange. You get tomatoes, that's red. You have green beans, you get, wax beans, you got different colors. These things are different
No,
colors.
I like this nutritionist because I got a bag of M&Ms downstairs. That
Excellent. See,
total
you're getting it. You're getting
health
it.
food.
Total health food. Look at all this nutrition I'm getting. And look, some of these colors won't even kill you.
Now, Dune pointing out that his grandparents also had Lincoln Logs. Yeah, because my grandparents, they kept, my parent, my dad, they kept the toys, and that way when the grandkids came over, they could play with those toys. So there were older toys that and Lincoln. So I didn't have my own set of Lincoln Logs, but there was a big canister of Lincoln Logs at my grandparents' house. Although
I had Lincoln Logs.
Although only one set of grandparents kept the toys. The other set of grandparents got rid of the toys.
Yeah, they were not looking forward to, right?
Well,
did you have a train?
They
were
were clean out this. I had a train set and I barely used it. I got a train set for Christmas one year, and thinking back, I mean, it was in the box. It had all the parts, but I don't think it was brand new. I think it was an older repurposed train set, but it had like the, little transformer thing that you slide up. But it was a type of train set that made a figure 8 and had risers to raise up so that it would go a bridge over on the figure 8.
Oh, cool.
And so they set it up on a table, but they couldn't get it to stay balanced, to not kind of move when it would go around the track. And so at some point they decided that this wasn't good enough. This wasn't not that it was like falling apart or anything, as long, like, even if you run it full, it would kind of teeter a little bit, and then it'd be like, no, don't do that, dial it back. But they were, I remember it was never handed off to me like, you own this now, this is yours. It was more of a, we have to fix this problem type of thing. And I'm like, it seems to work. No, that's not good. We have to fix it. So at some point, I think it was a Christmas gift from my grandparents. So at some point in a future visit, my grandparents had given us a cross piece. So that way we could just set it up level and have a crisscross figure 8, because it's only one train running on the track. It's never gonna crash into itself. It's not that long. But for some reason it never got put back together with that piece. I think that piece stayed sealed in its package, put away with the rest of the train set in the basement. At some point I think I tried to put it together in the basement, and I don't think I ever got it fully put back together. So yeah. Now Sparky, yes. If I had room to set something up, I might want to Pixit to light that up again. He never had a train set. He always had slot cars. Slot cars, whole lot more fun than the train set, because the train set just, it just moves around stationary at a steady rate. Slot cars. Now, you ever have slot cars, Brian?
I posted cool. I never have. No. And actually, in fact, my town next to the bowling alley had a little slot car track, so you could bring your car or rent a car from them and run it on their track. That was very cool, because this was not just a little go around in circles kind of thing like NASCAR. There were multiple. It was really cool. Never got to get a car for that though.
Well, the cool thing about the slot cars, where it was like HO scale, or was it was a universal size or that you know. So my dad had the slot cars, and at some point he,
He's a car dude. Yeah.
right, and so he kept his slot cars and his track and his stuff. And
Does
so
he still have it?
Oh yeah, he still has it. It's not been set up
Dad,
in many,
you're cool.
not been set up in many years. But it's gonna if I well, here's the thing. So we set up like a little track on the table, and played with it a bit, and we would do that a bit. We have fun playing with that. The problem with slot cars is if you don't have cable, it interferes with the antenna TV reception. I wonder what it would do with today's TV reception, because you get all the static, and it kind of pissed Bob off for down the base and playing with slot cars, because you're getting all the static and the lines and the yeah, that was
Oh, cool.
but
Not desirable, but cool. So when I lived in Denver, I had some HO trains.
mm.
So did my neighbors. Okay.
Yeah, you could tie
And then
in
there
the
were
train
other
with the
people that I
track,
knew that
too.
had trains, and one guy was collecting various stock cars. And when he got a stock car in from the mail, his wife would go, "Oh, another brown stock car." It was pretty funny. Anyway, so my neighbors, we moved away. Then they moved away. They were living in St. Louis for a while, and now they're living in Michigan near Detroit area. And they're still both into trains big time. They he's a teacher, so when he has some time off, they find some old steam engine, whatever, that's running passengers and stuff like that, and rides the trains. And we actually met them when we were in DC. They happened to be in the DC at the same time.
Cool.
In fact, I was kind of surprised that they got there in car from Michigan rather than taking a train.
Huh.
Okay. But anyway, so they went to the Air and Space Museum in Arlington, which I didn't know there was one there. But actually, the Air and Space Museum in DC is currently under renovation. So you've got this reservation you've got to have, and blah, blah, blah. So we didn't even go to it. Anyway, so they also belong to this group in Michigan that restores full-size trains, and keeps them working, which is pretty cool.
That is cool. Now, Sparky writes in that the slot cars wouldn't affect today's TV cable. Well, I don't know about. I figured it wouldn't affect, but I wonder if it would disrupt today's antenna broadcasts, because it's a different range now.
But it's now digital, so it's probably not going to affect it.
No, it probably would affect it, because it's actually
but not the same way.
But it's the
You're
same
not staticky kind of stuff.
It's the same
Like
antenna receiving signals in the same frequency range, so you're still going to interfere.
Well,
so
it'd be interesting.
It'll probably be worse.
Check that out.
It'll probably be worse, because interfering an analog signal makes static come in, but you could still get a distorted picture and lines.
Yeah,
and
you could lose the picture entirely.
Digital, you interfere with that signal, you're going to get garble, you're going to get blocks, you're going to get garbage. So yeah, slot cars
it's going to
probably
look like Minecraft, right?
Yeah, I guess at some point I'll have to. Well, I don't have room to set up slot cars here, because getting back to when we set up.
We'll go
back
to
in
your
Hills-
dad's house, have him to set up the slot cars since he has them.
He doesn't have an
And-
antenna set up on his TV anymore.
So bring an antenna up with you. How hard is this?
To get
We gotta. Hey,
to get no
OX64. We need to know this, right?
to get good signal where he's at, you'd need a roof antenna. I'm not setting up a roof antenna for a slot car test.
You wouldn't need a roof antenna. The rabbit ears on top of the TV would work.
But not as good. It'd probably be garbled to start with. Rabbit ears. From
Well,
New
you
York
set
to-
that up, you get it, you see what the signal looks like, and then you get the stuff.
Yeah, and most of our channels were VHF channels, so I wouldn't even know what it did to UHF, because we didn't really have that to test. Those were the Philly channels that were coming in staticky. if
Are they
at
still
all.
doing VHF on digital?
Yes, actually, in fact, that's an issue. The channel 2 to 6 range, the low VHF, is an awful range that ought to not be used, but it still is. And you know who uses it most?
No.
PBS. You know why?
Why?
Money. It's cheaper. The government offered
sure.
like certain like to trade and go to low VHF band. You got funding for that or something.
Well, one
like
of the
that.
cool things, I think it's channel 6. We had a PBS channel that was 6, I think it was, which also has the audio track on the FM band. So you listen to the audio on the FM band and watch the TV.
Yeah, just like you could do on Friday night videos.
Right.
Yeah. That's an option there. So anyways, back when I was playing with the slot cars, so we set up a small little track on the table in the basement, and I was digging through the stuff, and in with the track was this piece of paper with a diagram of this large track that my dad designed and laid out, I guess, in the toy room at my grandparents' house. And I'm like, I'm building this. And because there was a whole, our basement was one big basement, but we kind of considered it two halves, even though there was no wall or divider. But the stairs came down the middle, and to the right was where our like shelves had our toys that we didn't keep in our room anymore, the gaming TV, the table to set up slot cars or other things. So that was kind of our side of the basement. Left side of the basement was Dad's side of the basement, where he had his workbench in one corner, and some shelves of some like stuff and car parts, and some shelves in the back of like his old games and stuff that was in storage. But that side was a lot more tidy than our side. So that side pretty much had an open floor that I saw as, well, there's where I'm building the track, because it was this just unused section of floor that no one was walking through or doing anything with. And that was where there was. So I got all the track, and I looked at his paper from his notes, and I built out that track that he had the notes from, and took up that whole side of the basement with this, I think there was like a 20-piece straightaway at one point of it. It was pretty cool. But the thing about the slot, it took a long time for me to actually get it to run good, though. Because the thing about those tracks is that they build up oxidation on the on the contacts.
Oh yeah.
And but a pencil eraser is good for that, but it's not like immediate. You got to do like a few rounds on the pencil. Also, the car running around with the friction kind of helps get things cleared off too. So you go around with the pencil eraser, you nudge the car around a bit. The first go around setting up these old tracks, it's like the car barely moves. You really had to work it and clean it with the pencil eraser, go over things real good. I got to the point where one of the lanes was working pretty good all the way around with the push button, but I never got the second one all the way there, and it didn't really. My brother wasn't interested enough in this to hold any races with me or anything like that. But yeah, that was at some point after a few weeks of that, my dad was like, "Okay, when are you putting it away?" I'm like, "Well, it's not in your way. It's on the floor." It's on my floor in my basement. You need to put that away. Like, I just got lane one working right. Sparky built tracks on a big cardboard box so he could slide out under the bed. This, I would have had to probably take it apart in half to slide it under a bed. It was a big track, half the basement. I think I asked, because I'm like, well, where did you put it when you set it up? He's like, we had the toy room upstairs. I'm like, the whole time? He's like, no, sometimes we put it to the side. Sometimes we put it away. Sometimes we had the ping pong table set up in there. Sometimes fold that up, put that to the side, but yeah. Anyways, yeah. So I had a fun few weeks there with that, and then took it apart, put it away, and those boxes must have made their way to the house. My dad wouldn't.
So I was just looking up slot car on Wikipedia, And the three most common sizes were 1/24 scale, 1/32nd, and the so-called HO scale, which is 1/86th to 1/64th.
Yeah. Well, the
In
stuff
fact, I
my
thought
dad
it was
has,
172 was the common, but
the stuff my dad had was HO scale. Which
okay.
also I believe train was HO. So I think they actually made pieces.
The
where
most
you-
common train is HO.
And so I think they actually made pieces that would be a slot car piece that had train track going across it, so you could tie
So you
in
could have a system
HO
of cars and trains.
in with your
That's
HO
cool. You know, I
slot
never really
car.
saw that. That's actually cool.
I've seen
So you know the reason why
pictures of that.
why I don't have a train anymore?
Why
And
is
I got
that?
rid of it. I had it set up in my basement, and I haven't had a basement since. In Denver, I had a basement then. I haven't had one since.
Mm.
Bummer, man.
Oh, here we
I
go.
just
I
don't have
found,
the space for it.
I found one on let's see, vintage Tyco SHO slot car road rail train crossing. So yeah, you can get a track with a train crossing on it.
Is this Amazon?
No, this is eBay. this
okay.
this is vintage.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can get a lot of that stuff new now, I'm sure, but
I don't know.
you know, who wants some old janky shit from 30 years ago?
Me?
Oh, okay.
There you go. See, it's got the train that goes across.
Yeah,
there.
that's
you can-
there we go. Yeah, keep
that
it there a
right
second.
in.
Hey, let me
Yeah.
pull full screen. Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah. That's how you could tie them in. So
Neat.
yeah.
Totally good. Guess what?
Sparky
Yes.
points out
What?
so you could stop the slot car on the train track and let the train hit it.
Yes.
One thing though, you had to be careful because one time I'm going around the track with the eraser, and while I was working the car around the track and then erasing and then working the car. So at some point I found some of my uncle's stuff got mixed in with my dad's stuff. My uncle had instead of a push button, a like steering wheel thing. That way you could basically just set it to be constantly on rather than push the button. Because the way the push button worked is it was variable resistance, so that you
Like
could
a dead man switch.
because when you go around the corners, you got to ease up on the button because you take the corners
Yeah.
too fast,
Yeah.
slide around. So
You're
there was
not-
skill.
You're not
involved.
flying a Sopwith Camel, right?
Right, but
Because that had to control whether you're giving it fuel or there's no fuel.
right, but there was a more stationary version, but it was still variable, but it would you turn it and dial in where you want it to be, so that way you could walk away. So I would have that and kind of crank it on, so I could push the car around the track, work it with the eraser, push around some more, work it with the eraser without having to hold the button down the whole time, or And at some point, I kneeled down to reach a piece of track, and I kneeled on the track, and I did get a tingle in my leg from completing the circuit. So yeah, that stuff did have enough voltage. You could give yourself a small little jolt.
Right. Just don't dangle the thingy there.
No. No, this is not a pants optional type operation.
Yes.
Dune it seems to be disappointed we're still on trains. No, we're on cars.
That's right, man. We're trying to turn Johnny into a car guy.
No, I like
now he's
soccer.
finally admitting that he could be.
No, I have
You got
fun
a
playing
basement,
with-
you could have a slot car or a train set, one or the other, or both. Now you can have both.
First of all,
Yes.
even if I could see the floor of my basement, the floor of my basement is not level. So it is crooked, jagged,
you
rough.
Don't want to, you
It
don't
is-
want it to be on the freaking floor anyway.
It's not a floor for setting up track.
So don't have it on the floor. You get a board,
Mm,
figure how big it needs to be,
no,
and then you prop it up with legs, and
Dude,
shore up the legs so the whole damn thing.
this is not a hobby I need to add on top of the pile.
Ah, that's cool.
So it is 7:02.
It
so
is
we're
that time.
past be time
Yeah.
for rating.
It is time to find someone to raid. now,
Graceful
isn't it?
Bard.
Graceful Bard is live.
Pork roll,
we raid her a
pork
lot.
roll Bob.
Yeah, we raid him a lot. Too.
Misty Alcazar Music.
Ooh, the Fantastic Plastics are live. I haven't seen them live in a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So, anyways, hopefully they're not getting ready to log off. Let's
We'll jump into it. Good.
let's
BS,
see
what
what they're
did you
doing.
learn?
Let's see what they're doing, and then we'll bring. Oh, they are live, and they are in a purple cave.
So what did you guys learn?
Well, let's bring up the music. So, anyways, once again, you've been tuned into a fun-filled edition of
Insert title here.
But we do try to be educational here. And I think
Yes.
I've learned a little bit. You've learned a little bit. We've all learned a little bit. So, Brian, what have you learned?
You were into slot cars. We never really talked about that before.
Cool. All right. And I learned that OX64 is going to be live streaming the Eclipse, although he's still looking for a spot to go. And I've learned that maybe 6 hours each way is not too long for a round trip. But according to Sparky Toaster, going around the world is too long for a round trip.
Yeah, that would be a little long.
OX64 learned that Dune is in Australia time zone. And I learned that Dune does not like to fly southwest. Sparky learned that Johnny's radio still not fixed. Yeah, we'll see. Well, you know,
Yeah. No.
I don't got any plans this weekend. I mean, this weekend is pretty much prepping for the. I'll probably get to bed early on Sunday. So
That's a
maybe.
good plan.
Well, I still need to do some plumbing work one of these weekends.
Oh, that's not done yet.
Well, the slow trickle at the water flow regulator seems to have stopped itself. You know, you give water enough time, it builds its own blockage, right? But I do have a leak.
That's a good theory.
It's last time I felt it, it was dry. I'll take that as a win, but I'm keeping an eye on it.
Good.
But the bathroom sink has a bit of a leak underneath it, but that's okay because we had like the emergency roll of cheap toilet paper that we don't want to use, so we keep for an emergency, and so I've just kind of propped that on the area where the leak is coming in to just kind of soak it up. So that's been keeping water off the floor. But I do have a fitting to replace that with. I just need to shut the water off, saw off the old fitting because it's something on a PEX that's glued onto a PEX pipe that I guess the glue's wearing off. So you know, saw that, make sure it's all smooth, everything. And I got a shark bite thing that should fit right on the top of there. Grab that on and screw my hose to the sink faucet back on. I just need to get around to it. It's just a roll of absorbent material that takes in it's a slow enough leak that's drip, drip, drip. So it's not, it's whatever. I'll toss it out once I fix it.
Yeah. Very cool.
I don't think it's happening fast enough. Like anytime I feel the roll down there to see if it's soaked and saturated and growing stuff, it's dry. So it's not dripping on there fast enough to fully saturate and soak the roll of toilet paper. So it's that's a manageable situation.
Right.
Sparky writes in, Johnny needs a round to it. Yeah, I'll get around to it.
Yeah. Better than a square one.
Yeah. I don't need a square to it. I need a round to it. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to raid Fantastic Plastics, which is great because they also make cool music videos. So, yeah.
Cool.
There we go. All right. So we will be back in 2 weeks' time.
2 weeks.
And, yeah, everyone have a great week. And hope you all can see the eclipse. And if not, like find a live stream. OX64 will be streaming it. All right. Good night.
All right. We'll see you.
Razor, what would you like to
All
hear?
right,
on
we're
that
rated.
song? Ask us anything. Go for it.
All
I hope
right,
we
cool
didn't miss
show.
Any of the other things.